Hello and welcome. Today we are riding Lower Halls Gulch Trail in the downhill direction. This trail is I would say an intermediate to more advanced trail, especially in the Boise foothill areas for mountain biking. There's a lot of rock features and like rock gardens, some drops, step downs. There's one really big, cool rock feature that took me a little bit to get over to ride down, and yeah, so definitely not for beginners. So if you're riding, just start out riding or taking a friend riding for the first time or your girlfriend riding for the first time, definitely avoid this trail as you'll probably end up without a friend or single afterwards. Uh, yeah, but all in all, it's a fun trail, especially if you're looking for something a little more technical. It's like as you can see, it's a lot more rocky and kind of twisty, windy than a lot of the trails in the Boise Foothill area, especially like Military Reserve and Camel's Back, the lower stuff, which tends to be more open and sandy. So because you just follow this little ravine downhill, and this trail's kind of broken up into two parts. There's an upper part, which is before the big rock feature, which we are getting to, and the lower part, which is after. This upper part is tends to be a little more tight and windy. You have the bigger rock garden sections in it, and the lower part, as you get to the bottom of the ravine, like opens up a little more. It's a little sandy. So here we're just doing a series of step downs into like a tight corner, and then we'll come up around this corner and we'll hit the big rock feature here in a second. I have two takes of this rock feature in so you can kind of get a better idea of it. You kind of roll up and it wraps around this rock between the creek and the cliff. Now you just have kind of like, there's a dip heading into it, which you kind of see a little better here. So you have to like go through the dip, get your weight back, ride through it, and kind of follow the like little ramp and drop down. So it's a little tricky. Definitely takes a little practice, but you can do it. I've managed to do it on like a trail bike and a fully rigid fat tire bike and my racing hardtail. So yeah, just go out there, try it, and give it a go. Maybe bring a friend with. And now we're on the lower part. The great part about this trail is if you're on a modern trail bike or full suspension like higher travel bike, you can kind of pick whatever line you want for the most part and just kind of like smash through it, which can be fun because there's not anything like too big or massive to worry about except for the big rock feature in the middle. So yeah, so just like open it up and have fun and explore some different lines going through left side, right side of the trail. But remember to keep it under control because this is a very popular trail, especially on the weekends or like the evenings after work. A lot of people are out riding it and biking it, and there are kind of a lot of tight blind turns, so just be careful that you don't get going too fast and like run into somebody. Nobody wants to be that guy. And yeah, so just I guess take your time, like enjoy it. Like it's easy enough to get back up, so it's one of my favorite ones to go down and just kind of every ride try to fit it in if I'm doing a loop or something. Because yeah, it's spices things up a little with a little added technical features. Another trail that's similar to this is, which is like one valley over, is Bob's Trail. So kind of similar to this if you're looking for something similar. That one's even a little more technical, I would say. But yeah, all in all, a good trail. Here we have a little drop, and as you can see, there's just random rock spots like here. Take the high line, you can just smash up it and keep going on the small rocks. And here came across another biker. So remember, uphill traffic has the right of way, but so I stopped for it, but she wanted me to go. So like, all right, I'll go. And here's a hiker. Just gave him a hello and like let him know I was ready to pass. So it was nice and got out of the way. Just always try to be nice and courteous to other trail users and just like share that experience with them and not, I guess, put a black eye on the sport of mountain biking, especially in these multi-use, multi-direction trails. It's always good to keep a head up and not go trying to smash Strava segments. especially during busier times. So this was in the spring where it kind of rained a little or was wetter, so that's why it's still green, and a couple puddles. So just remember to like ride through the puddles and not try to go around and expand the trail if there's little ones like that. Also, I'm riding this one at night, as you can see. Yeah, it makes it a little tricky at times because it's riding towards the west when you're going downhill. So sometimes the sun can kind of blind you, so just something to take note of. If you do it at night, that can be really cool once the sun goes down behind the hills. Like night riding stuff is great because then you can open it up a little more because there's much fewer people out. And now we're getting down to the bottom part, which opens up into more sandy. As you can see here, it kind of strains out a little bit. So just remember, I guess, check the speed too, especially entering into turns, because you never know who's going to be there. Lots of groups hiking and stuff too, so always keep an eye out and look ahead. And so here just had a little drop, and then we're coming up to a split in the trail. The trail splits to the right and to the left. They both end up merging back up, going to the same place. I think if you go to the right, you can get onto a little spur trail that goes up to 8th Street, but I kind of like the left side a little better. It maybe a little more technical, more windy, twisty. The right side just kind of loops around a little higher from the stream and doesn't have many rocky sections, and you don't get to go over the bridges, and the bridges are cool because they're bridges, so that always makes it fun. But yeah, so pretty sweet little section. I like going through like kind of the lowlands and stuff. Reminds me of riding back in the Midwest a little bit. And yeah, so then we're back out onto like the lower section again where they merged up. Just cruising on down, and here it like stays pretty sandy and wide open. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with the gradient there, guys, on the display, but I don't think it's quite accurate. Sometimes I think it's a little makes the trail seem a little steeper than it really is. But let me know in the comments if you guys find that useful. Oh, here we have some other riders coming up. You can see they kind of sneak up fast on you around these turns. And then this section here where it's kind of sandy, you gotta be careful in the spring because sometimes it washes out and they have to come in and like fill it back in. So yeah, so here we're just rolling on down to where there's a bunch of trails converge because we're getting closer to some trailheads. So there's going to be a spur up here that goes to the right, that goes to 8th Street where people can park and jump on. And then we're going to come into the junction with Red Cliffs, which is another popular trail, which is pretty fun. I believe I have a video for that one where I night ride it, so I'll give a link to that one here at the end of the video. And then the trail kind of ends in this going through a wooden gate feature into the slow zone where they ask you to keep your speed under control and slow. So here we are coming up to that. Here you see the sign for it. So don't forget to subscribe if you like this film and check out some of my other ones. Thank you, and ride on.